Hi there. I'm excited to tell you about a remarkable artist who is on the autism spectrum. What is the autism spectrum? The DSM-5 states that people on the autism spectrum have persistent deficits in social communication and social interaction, have restricted, repetitive patterns of behavior, interests, or activities, have developmental delays in early childhood, and have significant impairments in functioning across many settings. People who are on the spectrum or who have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, dyspraxia, or dyslexia are referred to as neurodivergent. People who don't have these diagnoses are referred to as neurotypical. The autism spectrum is incredibly wide, and no two people on the spectrum are alike, just like snowflakes. Many autism organizations describe autism as something that must be eradicated. That doesn't sound very good, does it? I do not agree with this way of thinking about the neurodivergent brain. Autism is not a disease that needs to be cured, and it isn't a mental illness. Dr. Jacques Den Houting, who is a leader on autism research, states that neurodiversity is part of the natural range of human development. It is my opinion that as a society, we must shift our thinking about what normal is and instead embrace the riches of both the neurodivergent and neurotypical brain. Thank you for watching. This is Rachard McIntyre. Rachard has been drawing since he was a little boy. He has lived with his mother his entire life. Rachard worked part-time at a grocery store for about 19 years. He created a biographical portrait of President Obama using words in the place of lines, curves, and shading. Obama owns this. This was his job. This is his art. Rachard McIntyre was born in Brooklyn, New York, to Carrie Jacobs, a single mom. Carrie worked for the Bell Company installing fiber optics cables in the Wall Street area as well as the World Trade Center. Life went along smoothly for them until Carrie put Rachard into a preschool at age 4. A janitor pulled Carrie aside to tell her that the teacher ignored him.
She noticed that Rachard was always to himself. The instructor or the person that was in charge of the school and in charge of the kids learning allowed my son to be by himself. I didn't like it, so I did call it to their attention, and she somewhat pushed it back on me. He says, well, at home you're going to he doesn't catch on, and he doesn't this and he doesn't that.
In kindergarten, things got worse. One day while Rachard was drawing at his desk, a little girl in front of him grabbed his drawing and wouldn't give it back. When Rachard finally got it back, his teacher thought he was the problem. She snatched his drawing away aggressively, causing her to accidentally scratch his face. The teacher scratched him?
He had a note in his backpack. And the first thing he said to me when I said, Rachard, what happened to you? What is that? He said to me, Mommy, she didn't mean to do it. So with that, I decided I was going to school with him the next day. I called in my workplace and told him I would be late or I wouldn't be coming in at all. I can't remember which, but I went there and had a talk with the principal about what had happened, and I was concerned about my child going to public school and coming home with an injury, and I had a conversation with him concerning, and then I saw his teacher. Of course, she came out of the class and she was still apologizing. The school was so overcrowded. And Rachard wasn't a fighter, and the kids were fighting each other. And, oh, I know. And there was a time that something triggered in Rachard's mind after I was talking about his injury. When we got home, he was telling me that there was a time that in the bathroom, a little boy took himself out and urinated on his feet, in the bathroom.
Carrie knew she had to make a change for Rachard, so she began looking for a place to live outside of New York City.
I wanted something different and something better for him that consists of a backyard and a front yard, so he could live like the average child, like I did. I was in the South. I mean, I wasn't in an apartment. I had access to a backyard and front yard. So I moved in a town called Vineland, New Jersey. So I did. I found something. I found the house that I could afford. It's a wonderful house with a white picket fence, mind you. And the price of the house was what I could afford, which was wonderful. Now, my only other situation, I had to find a solution to commuting. And the distance that this house was 120 miles out from my workplace.
You heard that correctly. Carrie Jacobs commuted 240 miles round trip every day from Vineland, New Jersey to New York City and back for 13 years so that Rachard would thrive. Carrie Jacobs is a real-life superhero. In the Vineland public school system, a team of educators and psychologists observed Rachard and developed an individualized education plan called an IEP. He was mainstreamed into regular classrooms by the 3rd grade. Vineland kids were very nice to Rachard. Carrie retired from the Bell Company in 1999. She got married and they all moved to North Carolina, Carrie's home state. Rachard got his driver's license and a part-time job at a grocery store. One day while he retrieved grocery carts from the parking lot, he mumbled a few things to himself as he took out his wallet and counted his money. Out of nowhere, a huge white male came up behind him and yelled, "Are you the thief that stole my wallet?" He took Rachard's arm and threw him around like a rag doll. Rachard pleaded with him to let him go, saying repeatedly that he didn't steal the man's wallet. When the assailant let him go, Rachard ran into the grocery store and called his mother. Carrie insisted that the police find this man and arrest him. The police were able to trace his license plate, but they still needed a better description of the assailant. Rachard went home and drew a picture of his assailant, which was published in the Wilmington Journal. His assailant was arrested, and a court date was set. Rachard was so rattled by this attack that Carrie decided to get him to a psychiatrist.
This assault with this man prompted me to take my son for therapy, and that's exactly what I did. And Dr. Berg then referred us to a psychiatrist. So I kept that appointment. I took Rachard there, and she asked me to leave him there for 3 hours and said within 3 hours you can come back to get him. And she wanted me to know that his world was totally different than the world we live in. She says, and don't allow anybody to bother him. And she also said to me, she said, and I want to tell you something. If there were more people like him living on this earth, it would be a much better place.
At 22 years old, Rachard and Carrie learned that he was on the autism spectrum.
So I took her advice about evidently not trying to change him, not trying to medicate him or do anything like that, because this is the world that he should be. This is his world.
Carrie ended up dropping the charges because it was too stressful for Rachard to pursue. I met Rachard when he bagged my groceries. He was very quiet and sweet, and I could tell that he was special. A few months later, I ran into him at a farmer's market. He had a tiny table with a basket of his drawings on cards, and I was in awe of his talent. He was so shy then, he could barely look at me, and he did not want to talk. A couple of months later, I ran into him at Cape Fear Community College. I was doing the college transfer program, and Rachard was working on his associate's degree. We made plans to eat lunch in the cafeteria. During lunch, he told me that he was autistic, and I told him that I have ADHD and breast cancer. Lunch with Rachard was a bright spot for me. In 2010, Rachard made a very conscious decision to really push himself with his art. The results of that decision are quantifiable. Let's compare his pencil portraits before 2010 and after 2010. Before 2010, after 2010. Before 2010, after 2010. Rachard has developed a very personal and unique method for doing portraits of famous people and events. Some of his most somber work centers around 9/11. Rachard, it seems like, are you starting to do one of these a week?
Yeah.
It seems like you've been doing a lot of these.
Yeah. I know every time I do one, I find out new stuff about it. Because
I bet you know a lot.
first I do an outline of the figure and then I add the words in. I always start at the lower left corner.
Okay, so the autobiographies, the biographies, you always start at the lower left corner.
Yeah.
Okay, Any particular reason why, or is it just a way to stay organized?
Yes, it's to stay organized.
Mm-hmm.
But I always start at the left because I work my way around.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Some people wanted me to do Trump as well.
Mm-hmm. You have a right to, you know, I mean, he is the president of the United States, and it doesn't have to, you know what I mean? There's no judgment.
It would have to focus on his business.
Mm-hmm.
Because he just became president.
Exactly. So tell me, so you're going to go to a fundraiser tonight for a Full Belly project?
Yeah.
You're going to donate a piece of art?
I think, yeah.
Do you know what it might be?
It could be one of the ones I did in Word.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. Who wouldn't want 12
Greeting
cards?
cards. Yeah, greeting cards with paintings. These are pictures of paintings, of his original paintings. Yeah. So that's what we'll do, and donate it to the silent auction. How is that? You think that's cool?
Yeah.
Okay, I do
Beautiful.
too. That's a great idea, Rachard.
How many benefits and things do you think you guys donate to on a yearly basis?
Last year we did about 4.
Mm-hmm.
2016, yeah. We're always doing something.
Yeah, you're
help.
giving. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to help people.
District Attorney Ben David invited young artists from area schools to display their artwork throughout his offices and conference rooms. Rachard was also invited to this event.
Rachard has a real gift, and if you walk by the front of our office, you'll see that he is hanging up in our permanent collection.
He and his mom came with dozens of his prints and gave them away for free to all the children attending.
Wow, you did my portrait?
Yes, that's Superman, there you are.
Stop it.
Rachard, put your name over here in blue in 2007.
Wow, that's really good, Rachard. I'm so proud of you, man. I'll tell you, I
You
can't
always
tell you.
been proud of me.
Yeah, I knew you before they were making documentaries.
That's what I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, I think they're going to. I think they're going to be hanging you in museums pretty soon.
I hope so. We're going to keep pushing.
I hope that gave you what you needed.
Yeah, but I'm still rolling right now.
Yeah, good.
But thank you for doing what you did. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, listen, Rachard is a special young man, and him sharing this gift with the rest of us is something that's inspired a lot of people, and I know it will for years to come. So, Rachard, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, because you know, it's a favorite. We just. Oh,
And this is about biography.
the spring stuff.
Biography of Tony Stewart and Richard Petty. Biography.
Wow, that's a cool way to do a biography.
It's not even bad. I mean, good. He's wonderful. Look at this. You can't believe this drawing. It's like the people are sitting right here. I mean, wonderful.
You're in a bad spot.
These are actual paintings that he did. They're painted at I downsized. I have the original downsized and greeting cards. So you can.
out of work?
Get out of work. What was sent to Obama last year? What was ecological sent to Obama last year?
I bet he's got it hung up in his bedroom.
He actually might finish somewhere in his library and get a bill because he might actually.
Support your local artists. Keep them living here in our city. That's what makes our city so cool, is that they live here and put these shows on, and then we come here and support them.
I actually like this.
I know. It's funny. Isn't it funny? It's hysterical. I agree. I like somebody with a sense of humor, right? I still don't get how he manages to know how to get the words in at the right place. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense.
Design.
I know.
That's what the DA said. That's what Ben David said. He said when he saw it with the fire engine, you know, Rachard did the 9/11 of the World Trade. The fire engine, especially, in order to get that design of the shape and picture of the fire engine, everything had to come in the right place.
I know.
And then David's question to Rachard at that time was, how do you know how many words to use to get the exact liking of the portrait?
That's what I just said. I'm like, how do you know?
And Rachard's reply to District Attorney Ben David was like, I guess it's the mind of a genius.
That's great.
So Ben David said, well, I guess you're right, Rachard. I rest my case.
Rachard participated in the third State of the Art of the State event at the Louise Wells Cameron Art Museum. Sweetie, do you need some help? Are you sure? Because we got to go up steps. It's okay. We're going to go up here. We can do this together if you need to. Okay? So, you know, that's probably a good place to park, but there was a parking lot, but earlier it was packed. So, how are you?
Fine.
Good. All right. So, do you have, I guess there was a piece of paper you're supposed to fill out. I think they've got some inside there. Okay. All right. All right. Just be really careful. I can help you. We're going to go up these steps. Okay. Yep, watch out, baby. That's okay. I want you to get hurt. I'm gonna get the door.
Okay.
Okay, let me get this door. You need to check in with the ladies at the front desk, and then we'll take you over for paperwork, okay? Okay. want to come get it? Go, let's come get it. Yeah, she'll up. She can wait for you. Come get your piece. Very good. Just stick it over there. I'll get rid of it. It's a remarkable piece. So we make sure. Should we make sure everything's on the back, right? And, you know.
Are the D-rings on the back?
No, you have to stand it up and put it on a platform, buddy. You know.
Oh, okay. It's easier.
Is that okay? Do we need to give you any of this, or it should be on the back? Okay.
Yeah, it's on there.
All right. So, are we done? Rachard, how do you feel?
Excited. Thank you. I'm really excited about this. It's my second time being here. I hope it gets a lot of attention.
It's gonna be awesome.
Thank you.
Sweater, the one out there. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Fritzy. How are you?
I'm very fine. How are you today?
Good. I gotta catch up with Rachard very quickly. He's like Speedy Gonzalez. Sorry.
How are you? Nice to see you.
Excuse me. What you looking at?
I love this a lot. I used to watch them every time.
I have that coffee mug, Rachard. And the sweater turns yellow. It goes from like that weird brown, green color, whatever, and then it goes to yellow. Yeah, I have that one. Yeah, I watch Mr. Rogers too.
He's one of my favorite artists. And
Yes. What is it? Just like his style of painting, or?
I like his style of painting.
He's amazing. Do you know that people made fun of his paintings back in the day, and it turns out he was one of the greatest painters in the world?
And I like her work too. She's a Mexican artist.
Yep, Frida Kahlo. Do you know she was in a really horrific accident and it's messed up her back, and so she was like in back braces and stuff the rest of her life. She was in a lot of pain. Do you want to see if we can go in?
Yeah.
Let's go find your painting, buddy. Let's go find that painting. There it is! Oh my God, Rachard! That looks good there.
Thank you.
Look at what, oh. Listen, Bob Unchester from this museum is just so good at putting these things together, and I knew he was going to put this in a really special place for you. Oh my God, Rachard. Don't you feel awesome right now? Oh my God. It's so beautiful. You know what? I also like seeing it with this three-dimensional fiber art piece. This is kind of a fun little spot right here. Look, there's a Tabasco bottle that's beaded. A beaded Tabasco bottle. That's pretty funny.
That looks like hot sauce.
It is. But they did it with beads.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. I love this. Rachard, how do you feel?
Really excited.
You get to share this fantastic picture now with the world. So you know what? So this is like what we call this is an assemblage. I keep referring to it as a painting. It's an assemblage, but it's just so cool because if you take a picture of it and look at it from a distance, it looks a lot like a painting until you get up close.
The pennies, I had a lot of pennies at home, so I decided to add pennies along with the
Is this a peanut shell or shell?
yeah, pennies, stuff from these time companies.
And the little The red caps are from Crazy Glue.
I love that.
This is beautiful. Can I take a picture of it?
Can I take a picture of you guys taking a picture of it?
Oh, we're gonna be over here.
Be careful leaning in.
That is amazing.
You got us? That's you. It is.
This self-portrait was also in a curated exhibition at the University of North Texas, showcasing artwork by people on the autism spectrum. Rachard did another assemblage style work that he donated to the Nunley Clinic for Children.
Mind if I take your picture? That's beautiful. You are quite the artist.
But there's not too many people around.
Did you ever see the prints? I saw you showed you on your phone. There's so many.
Rachard and I really enjoyed the food at this event. There you are. Hi. I was like, where's Rachard? Oh boy. What's that all about? How's it going this morning? You selling anything? Good. Good for you. What'd you sell? Yeah. Cool. That's fantastic. Oh, look at this. I know. Well, you know what? And that's a good price for this. It really is. I should have done that to this camera right now. That's great. Spock. So, Rachard, if it gets windy, what do you do?
I try to hold my stuff down.
Mm-hmm.
Keep protected.
Do you try to move it maybe too? Be hard though. We're gonna you can't just like throw it on the ground. Oh Lord. I bet you've had a couple of fun incidences like that you can talk about, right? You have to lay yourself flat across the table to stop everything from moving. Cool. I ate too much junk last night, Rachard, and I would love to go eat some more junk and some pastry, but I can't be doing that today. And this is what we're talking about when it starts getting windy. Everything starts flying off. We just caught 2 of his prints almost in midair. There's Rachard holding on for dear life. We're not going to let the wind take this work away. Here comes the Captain Moffat boat.
I wish I could tour the battleship. I would like to go on a tour the battleship.
You've never been on it?
I never been there.
Oh, I'll take you. Take it. I love going there. We'll take you, okay?
I heard that there are rumors that it was haunted.
It is haunted, but don't tell your mother that. I don't think your mom wants to think about stuff like that, okay? It is haunted because they've had overnight things. We get to stay overnight, and sometimes you can hear things like going on that there's nobody down there. And from what I heard, you can hear men yelling. It's because it took on water when and some people died in the bottom of the boat from the I know, but people don't like to talk about that. It's uncomfortable. We don't like to think that there might be ghosts. And it's also against a lot of people's religious views. So do not tell your mother I just said that.
Right.
Really? Oh my God. Wow. That was a lot of work.
I need to produce those memories. Looks like a bag.
Oh, I can. Yeah.
How long does it take you to do this?
2 days for poetry. About 2 days for poetry. Yeah.
How many hours in a day? How many hours? Really?
I can just say that Indiana Jones is worth it.
There you go. I think you were here last year, weren't you? Yeah, because isn't that there's a story as to how, with the words you used in there. His bio. Okay, very cool. That's nice. You're very talented.
Just do the ship, incorporate into the meaning. Wow. It's a great idea, fabulous idea. Beautiful.
So tell me about this.
It was the first prize yesterday. First prize for our festival. I guess it's for the best table, a lot of stuff.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was a surprise for me yesterday.
I'd be surprised too, Rachard.
Yeah.
I bet you're really happy about that, aren't you? I would be. And there she is. You look flawless as always, Carrie.
Good to see you today.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. How are you doing?
Good. I'm still filming Rachard. Mm-hmm.
Oh, good, Rachard.
Isn't that cool?
Yes. So how's your family?
Good. You look lovely, Carrie. I love this color on you.
Thank you. That's one of my favorite. 3 brownies. Here. Okay. You're welcome. Yes.
But it was ridiculous. When I was teaching school.
The watch tells a story too.
Oh my God.
Everything is worth. His teeth, everything.
That is really amazing.
So, no, Rachard, I've looked at your drawings and you've changed. Your style it's changed so much from even like 10 years ago. Do you have any idea why?
Maybe because I've been doing it for a long time now. I've gotten better at it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm good at paying more attention to things.
It's amazing. I mean, it really is amazing. I hope you're proud of yourself. You should be. Carrie is the most dedicated mother I have ever known. As long as I live, I will always remember Carrie like this. The omnipresent superwoman mom, chicly dressed, perfectly coiffed hair, walking gracefully in high heels on an old cracked sidewalk, her airborne coattails trying to catch up to the rest of her, just like I was.